皆さんどうも、ライトと申します。Hey, this is Light and welcome. Today I want to show you how to master the Japanese grammar side of things. So master Japanese grammar. There are plenty of methods out there, and I'm going to show you these books along with a few other tips. So I think this will greatly improve your grammar going forward. And I do have to say this is more long-term focused than short-term. And the other approach would be just to get a JLPT book, the Japanese Language Proficiency N5 grammar book, and cover that. That's also a great method, right, to get the basics done. But if you are in Japanese for the long term, if you want to actually get to know the language and get to advanced reading, I recommend this approach to be one of the methods you would consider. And the reason I'm showing you a novel first and not these books is because the two things you do need is, number one, you need consistent reading materials, and that might mean a novel or an online side game or something you consistently use to get exposure to the language, not just take grammar as a one set thing, right? And then the other thing is to constantly listen to Japanese, and that is maybe on YouTube. There's a channel, Easy Japanese, with a guy and his wife. I've collaborated with them before, great people, and they have insane amount of content in Japanese, slow Japanese. It's like JLPT N3 level, and they explain everything on, I think, their Patreon also. First thing, I'm gonna link all the books in the description. I want to show you this book, so you might start with, I've actually covered this book, so that's why I have some notes and everything in it. Depending on your method, right? Let's go to a cleaner page. You can see that you have the furigana next to all the kanji. That's what you want in the beginning, right? The focus is here to study grammar, not necessarily search all the other meanings. So be careful, you can get lost in searching for kanji and such. So get something simple, that's easy, that's not going to demotivate you to learn grammar, like a book about like an anime, like Naruto or something. But for me, I want something consistent without too many pictures. So Edison, and you learn something from life. Just every day you read a little, 10 minutes or so, and you look at the furigana, but you also keep in mind the grammar points. Now let's get to the grammar part. So reading and listening, you want to set that up. We have this book, you might have seen this before, people covering it, but they don't show you really how to use it, right? And we have 3 of these books. This one is really important, it's very thick. You have the introduction, you have the great part covering not a grammar point, but let's go, for example, it should be K, right? So you have K at the left top, ka covering ka, and then later you have koto ga aru, right over there at the top. So it's covering everything for K from A to Z. It's covering the grammar. So A to Z, not necessarily in the right order. Good. So keep that in mind. You have all the grammar listed here, the basic grammar. So what do? You go to the first one, and you can get a paper, you can write ageru, for example, you can get that. You cover ageru. Just for the day, you try to read what it's about. Very, very great book, showing you the Japanese, the Romaji, and the translations. After that, you go to the next one, aru. And so you try to work through this like a workbook. And you do that, and at the end, you try to see if you find that grammar in the book. Good. So the start will be pretty hectic. It's going to be difficult because this is a long-term approach, right? Because you want to get through all of these. Let's go to the next one. So this is intermediate. You can see the first one I showed you, it was a basic, and the intermediate one is as thick as that one. Again, you go through and you see at the top, you can write these in a book, and you make a list of the grammar. Unfortunately, you can read until you become blue and just learn grammar or just listen. But if you have a mental map, you know actually where you are in terms of skill with grammar and how many you have left. It's a great motivational tool to see visually how far you are and what do you have to cover, what didn't you cover. And the last one, we also have advanced. Now, as you might know, in Japanese, for example, the most difficult JLPT test, level N1, they do not use all the grammar points. It's kind of like nonsense, almost, like some of the grammar points. You don't use them in daily life or in certain situations, but if you get a certain job, you might use them. If you read certain material, you might read them. And that's what I recommend. So you go through these from left to right, this book, and you write that down and you cover it from left to right. That is one approach, right? I'll be sharing other approaches going forward. Keep them balanced. Listening, reading, and going through the grammar books. Thank you very much for watching, and let me know what's your way of learning Japanese grammar.